Yep, I'm gonna go live right now.
Do it.
Going live. Girlfriend took me to meet her dad. He didn't like me 'cause I look so bad. I got a few things I want to work on tonight.
Yep, I'm gonna go live right now.
Whoop, somebody's
Okay.
got their TV going.
Shut up.
You shut up. Oh, look, I got a notification for it. Oh, look, I got a notification.
Okay, so why is this pulling up? What the fuck?
It's working for me, bro.
Okay. So you have Phantom, Gug, Shambling Mound.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So this. Okay. Hey, Josh.
Oh, it's Josh here already?
How are you this evening? I hope you and yours are doing all right. And that,
Same.
y'all don't stay sick too long, bud.
Yep.
That's always makes me a bit nervous, my man. I gotta say.
Boy, I tell you what. I need a reference for this picture.
Let
precious.
me.
Oh,
Hit
it's
me.
gonna be ooky. It's gonna be spooky. It's gonna be ooky and spooky.
I'm gonna actually remember my good friend Davey early in the deal here.
Hey.
Come on over, Dave. Come on over, Davey, my pal.
Come on to my house, my house. I'm gonna give you
my
candy.
house. Come on. Come on to my house.
My house. Come on. Every post becomes a ghost when you have a witch's brew.
Come on to my house.
And something else will make it tough on you.
We're gonna make some booty music, girl.
Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat for Halloween. When ghosts and goblins by the score ring the bell on your front door, you better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. Remember that Carl Barks adaptation to Donald Duck's Trick or Treat with the witch? Remember that with the witch?
I intellectually know that this is a thing. I don't really remember it though.
There was a witch, and Donald was being a dick, and he wasn't giving Huey, Dewey, and Louie any candy. And they're like, boo-hoo, we're sad. And the witch is like, oh, you're dressed like a ghost, a demon, and something else I don't remember. I'll help you, children. And then she, like, cast a spell on Donald's feet and made him dance a bunch. And then she, like, summoned an ogre in her cauldron. And then when Carl Barks turned those pages in, see that the ogre doesn't happen in the comic, or I'm sorry, in the cartoon short. He added that for the comic, and he got in huge trouble. They were like, "We can't publish this. What are you doing?" And so it went unpublished. They like cut out all the pages with the ogre in it until Gladstone in the '80s.
Why?
Well,
what's the matter with it? What's the matter with an ogre?
It's perfectly harmless, and like, I don't know. I guess they thought it was too macabre.
So fucking yeah, I'm gonna macabre them in their butthole. That's stupid.
This would have been, for context, this would have been either around the time or shortly before Seduction of the Innocent was published, which led to the gutting of DC Comics. So it's not
stupid,
overly surprising, really.
Stupid. But he was forced to dance like the fairy tale red shoes or whatever.
Yeah, almost exactly like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Did you hear me cough just
then? Maybe a little bit. I wasn't really paying attention. So what I'm saying is I mentally checked out for like 5 seconds, and apparently that was the time you used to cough. so I can't really answer that.
Well, I muted my mic so it wouldn't be too loud.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to have something special to play, Josh, once we've been live for a few minutes and hopefully more people start rolling up.
Oh, my thing is showing 5 viewers. Hello, everybody. If you're here, feel free to say something.
How y'all doing?
Even if it's something that's not real super clever, just say, hey, we'd like to know. We like you.
Just say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day where we can learn to work and play and get along with each other.
Trey has turned on subscribers only mode because he's a heartless shill.
I did that for the comments.
So if you're not subscribed and you would like to comment, please subscribe to this shill that is my kin.
I just didn't. I thought it would stop us from getting inundated with bullshit. Like it's not like
it's only going to stop you from getting inundated for bullshit for 5 minutes.
That's enough to get a handle on shit.
No, because you're not even going to know it.
No, what? Yeah, I don't think you understand how this works.
Oh, please fill me in, Sensei. Please.
Well, I'm just doing this based on shit that Maddie told me about because he's had a whole bunch of trolls and shit. So I just thought I would cut it off to pass. I guess I didn't think about.
Do you get to view them and what they're saying in those 5 minutes, or does it just all of a sudden they pop up and they're like, "Hey, penis"?
No, basically what it is you can't comment unless you've been subscribed for more than 5 minutes.
Yes, that's very easy to do, though. You realize this?
What's very easy to do?
You could, in fact, subscribe for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Say something shitty and then unsubscribe.
Well, that's fine. If that happens, then all I got to do is give that person the boot.
An apple and a pear and a peach and a plum. Hey!
Come on to my house, to my house. I'm gonna be your daddy.
What is that song even?
Come on to my house, come on. That one.
And here comes Colin starting his shit. Hi, Dave.
Oh, shit. Coming out swanging for the Halloween season.
Coming out swanging.
I
miss you, buddy. Hope you're at work tomorrow.
I hope Sean
with your tiny ass.
I hope Sean shows up. I sent Anna the link. Listen, every post becomes a ghost if you have a witch's brew. That's important. Because Halloween. Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I need you to be on the same page with me about this.
I might be. Apple and a pear. Shit.
Sorry about that.
You know that you can put me on a scent and I will run that shit.
I do know. For
Dog will hunt.
I am afflicted with the same sickness.
Dog will hunt.
Dog will hunt. Which song is that?
Isn't that Jerry's a race car driver?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Jerry was a race car driver.
Drove so goddamn fast. Never did win no checkered flags, but it never did come in.
But it never did come in last.
Jerry was a race car driver.
For anyone who wants to know what song we're singing, Jerry was a race car driver by Primus. It's a great song.
Had 2 medical bears one night to wrap himself around a telephone pole. Come on.
So I've been like on a corn kick for the past 2 days, and I don't have any explanation for this.
I mean, you don't really need one. It's okay to like
I feel like I'm an angry 19-year-old again. That's wonderful.
Hey, I never stopped feeling that way.
Hey,
why was I born?
Hey,
I never asked to be born.
I have asked to be unborn, though.
Yeah, same. Baby born, baby born. Oh, dear friends. We are here to celebrate the Halloween season. Oh yes. Now it's time for me to do a terrible Vincent or Boris Karloff impression. And some don't even wear their skin. Is this up here on this layer? Son of a buck. Go away. It is. Go away.
I've been trying to perfect a Christopher Lee impression, but I am not good at it.
Bro, it's hard. He's got such a deep voice.
Man, I know it.
His voice is so deep, he's not even messing around, dog. Oh, actually, I probably didn't need to do that.
I think that maybe he was in league with something very, very dark and evil and dark.
Oh, my dude, he's openly talked about how he's such a big fan of the occult. There's like interviews out there with him and shit. Yeah, he's so dope. I fucking love that old guy. God, he was great.
Did he do wizard shit?
I believe, at least a little bit. He at least expressed interest in it. And like Satanism.
He probably did. Dude, I mean, he like friggin' did a metal album, did he not?
Yes, he did. And it ain't too bad.
So,
it's not too shabby if you've never heard it.
I haven't. Apple in a pear. Yep.
You did?
Yep.
Shit ass. Okay. Well, is what it is, I guess. When you've got witch's brew. Boy, I'm real sorry about that song.
So if there's a dog that barks in the background, my stupid neighbor's got this gigantic Great Pyrenees that seems really sweet, but it still barks.
He's big and dumb and loud.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to check to make sure I'm on the right layer here.
Facts.
Oh, guess who forgot to share a Two-Face page? It was me. It was me.
I think I shared. Did I share it? I've already forgot. What the fuck?
Matthew.
My house will come on. Yep, 9 minutes ago.
Wunderbar. Here we go. Come watch me draw and listen to Matthew read the classic horror short, The Return of the Sorcerer.
The Return of the Sorcerer.
You know what? That wasn't a too bad Christopher Lee impression, dude. Have I sent you that link of him reading Poe? Like he starts with Hop Frog?
I feel like I've listened to that.
I'll link you up, but it's so good. Hop Frog. I have never known anyone more alive to a joke than the king. I love that story, dude. It's so great. It's hateful towards fat people, but it's also wonderful.
Okay.
All the king's courtiers were corpulent, oily men.
I feel like that's less hateful about overweight people and more hateful to people that live in just grotesque excess.
Yeah, that
do you know what I mean?
Like he goes on this whole spiel about how he doesn't know if it's something in fatness that makes you inclined to joking or if joking makes you fat. And I'm like, okay, whatever, Poe. Whatever you say, honey.
You were skinny and depressed, so slow down there, hon.
Yeah, you died in a fucking ditch, you fucking emo loser. Every ghost becomes a post when you have a witch's brew. Oh, I said it backwards. Oh, you silly boy. I will tag people again. I will tag people right now.
To be the hunter again.
Sean. Okay, I'm not gonna go here and rattle out these people's names.
So how's everybody doing? Yeah, because if they're here, we're probably not going to say it, right? You're weirdly paranoid in strange areas.
Look, man. Look.
What?
I've seen the horrors of the internet. All right,
okay.
It ain't cool. It ain't cool when scary shit happens. I don't like it.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I try to be cautious. That's all I'm saying. I want to protect people's privacy.
I don't.
Well, that's because you're not a good person.
That's a fact, though.
Let's see. Josh is already here. I don't know.
You said his name. What about Josh's privacy? Hey, Josh, fuck your privacy, bud.
Fuck privacy there, bud. You know what? I'm not going to tag anybody. They know. If they know, then they know.
If they don't know, then they don't know. I was hoping Sean would be here because I feel like he would get, he would enjoy the story that I'm going to read.
Bro, I shared it earlier this week, and he commented. He was all excited.
Yeah, no, and I shared it earlier. I used to think that candy corn was pretty fly, but it's garbage.
It was pretty fly for a
white guy. I'd like to share that.
I want to try something here real quick, folks.
Okay.
Tell me if you can hear me cough.
Yeah.
You heard it?
For sure.
Shit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Fuck ass. Okay, hang on. Tell me.
No.
Yes. Okay, dope.
We could hear you on mic, though.
Then you heard me.
Pop, pop. No, I heard a pop, pop, and then it was very quiet, and then it went pop, pop again.
Okay. I'm going to go potty real quick.
Gordon, go to your room.
Nope.
Nope. You entertain the folks while I go potty. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, folks that are here. How's everybody doing? Y'all? Nothing? Nothing from nobody? 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 Oh my God. Been watching Babylon 5 and I have been really, really enjoying it. I did not understand what I was missing. The acting is absolutely god awful, but it's a really fun show. I like it a lot. You might like it too, or you might not. I don't know. I'm not you. Josh doing good. Colin's doing good. If you're still here, Collins, or did you get kidnapped? Maybe he got kidnapped. Oh. Life is pretty good. Life is pretty good. Had my kids this past weekend and didn't really do anything, but I'm chilling now. And yeah. Holding steady. Holding steady, sir. I don't know. My vehicle's kind of making away. This has not been the year for than what you. I like watching paint dry. Sounds better than when you what? Talking about? Yeah, probably. Hi, Mom. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. So watching paint dry makes a sound for you? You must have exceptional hearing, sir. You're like a little fox. Man, he's taking forever in the bathroom. I hope he's still alive. See, like I have a shitload to say when Trey's on, and then when he goes, I'm just like completely lost. So I don't know what that's about. Shit's a little slow, and it's mostly my fault. Actually, right now it's 100% my fault, huh? I haven't even seen anything cool in the past few days. Except the new Dune movie. New Dune movie's real good. I liked it. As a fan of the book and of the earlier movie and television series. Well, God dang if it isn't Sean. How are you doing, sir? This is too scary. We were kind of waiting for you, but Treys off to the bathroom doing whatever he's doing. Gross shit, probably.
Has he returned?
Sean's here.
Oh, Sean. Every post becomes a ghost.
Do what I do
when
at work
you
and start
have a
singing random.
Just do what
Start
you do
singing
at work.
random songs.
Random song. I do that
Hell
too.
yeah.
I do that too at work. Shiny, but nothing new. Plus, I hate that non-ending. What is he talking about? What did I miss?
I don't know.
Shiny.
I don't know. Shiny like
Make
a
it
butter.
sparkle
We started
like
singing that at the
something.
time.
Yes.
Pirate ship. I'm a clip. And the AK. A to the motherfucking K, homeboy.
Well, I think we probably have as many people as we're going to have.
Ever in our lives. There are more people here than exist and have existed in history because all the angels are here. Oh, hate the Dune non-ending. Dude, they're setting up for a second movie, which from what I understand has been greenlit. Cool. My voice is already fucking up. That's going to be awesome.
How Sean said the novelization. I prefer the novelization. Same.
Yeah.
Your voice is fucky. Are you ready to go yet? Because I've
whenever you want to, dog. Whenever you want to, dog. Right. Do your thing.
Give me
do your dance. Do your dance quick, mama.
Give me just a sec. I gotta get my weapons. Aha, Monica's here. Hi, Monica. Thank you for joining.
Hello, Monica.
Matt's gonna read a spooky story. I'm gonna draw some scary stuff.
Sean's still being a little bit spicy in the comments. Hey, Sean, why don't you go get some milk, bud? Take about 10 to 15% off the top.
Go get some milk, bud. How are you? Oh, water.
Good, and you?
Good, and yourself? Yeah.
Canada is basically just like this is how I think of Canada. It's like a more wholesome Midwest.
Yeah, well, they got legal weed. So.
Hell yeah.
Josh
Son of a
can't
bitch.
Taste
Josh.
Wow, Josh.
Please,
Damn
no.
it.
Fuck. Man, come on. Don't know. You're grounded.
Today is the sorcerer reading.
Today is the sorcerer reading. In fact, that's going to be happening
very shortly.
Quite presently.
Quite soon. Since I think
quiet soon.
Everybody's here who's going to be here. I'm going to play.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to play a little introduction for you all here.
I'll start reading immediately after you introduce.
Oh, you want to? Okay. All
sure.
right, folks. We're gonna get this party started. Matthew's gonna read a story just as soon. Oh, fart knocker. Oh, here it is. Just as soon as I play this, and I'm sorry if it's too loud. I think I have the volume adjusted pretty good. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are two kinds of stories. Those you can take to bed with you and they relax you and put your mind at ease.
Quiet.
And then there's the other kind.
Introducing. No, dude, that's way too friggin' quiet.
Can you not hear it? You were talking over it. You talked over it the whole time. It was very loud in my ears. Okay, we're gonna try it again.
Did anybody else hear that shit? I didn't hear it at all.
This happened last time too. Did people in the chat hear the audio that I was playing?
Now everybody's like, yeah.
Well, nobody said anything.
Baldwin's a wiener.
Give it a minute. Said, shit. Nice. I made coffee and Bailey's to sit down and listen. Oh, that's awesome.
Can we wait for it to go to space and then come back down?
The coffee?
The comments, sweet child. The comments.
See, now I gotta get this all adjusted again. Son of a bee.
There are two kinds.
Boop. Wait, that was it. Boop.
An evil summoning
Boop.
and
Boop.
you and the relax.
Boop. Okay, now it's at where it needs to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just start reading. What the fuck?
No, you just wait a minute. Let's see,
Okay.
I got both of the audio things going correctly. I don't know why, but you may just not be able to hear it. I don't know why it was working before we went live. And not
racism,
now.
probably.
I have my mic muted. Maybe that was it. I don't know why that would be it. I'm going to try it again. Are you ready?
Yes, been ready, actually,
3,
sir.
2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are two kinds of stories. Those you can take to bed with you and they relax you and put your mind at ease. And then there's the other kind. And our story tonight is the other kind.
Ah, that's lovely. That's lovely. Josh is talking about tardigrades.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, it played for me,
Again.
so hopefully it played for the audience and on the recording.
Okay.
If not,
Cool.
Fran,
Dope.
it's all you whenever you would like to start.
Or you got botted by YouTube. I don't know.
I don't think so, because it. Well, maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
It's entirely
All right.
possible.
Allow me to get a small morsel of water into my mouth. Oh, well, apparently Sean heard it because he's talking about Peter Lorre.
Excellent.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The Return of the Sorcerer by Clark Ashton Smith. I had been out of work for several months, and my savings were perilously near the vanishing point. Therefore, I was naturally elated when I received from John Carnby a favorable answer inviting me to present my qualifications in person. Carnby had advertised for a secretary, stipulating that all applicants must offer a preliminary statement of their capacities by letter, and I had written in response to the advertisement. Carnby, no doubt, was a scholarly recluse who felt averse to contact with a long waiting list of strangers, and he had chosen this manner of weeding out beforehand many, if not all, of those who were ineligible. He had specified his requirements fully and succinctly, and these were of such a nature as to bar even the average well-educated person. A knowledge of Arabic was necessary, among other things, and luckily I had acquired a certain degree of scholarship in this unusual tongue. I found the address, of whose location I had formed only a vague idea, at the end of a hilltop avenue in the suburbs of Oakland. It was a large two-story house, overshaded by ancient oaks and dark with a mantling of unchecked ivy, among hedges of unpruned privet and shrubbery that had gone wild for many years. It was separated from its neighbors by a vacant, weed-grown lot on one side and a tangle of vines and trees on the other, surrounding the black ruins of a burnt mansion. Even apart from its air of long neglect, there was something drear and dismal about the place, something that inhered in the ivy-blurred outlines of the house, in the furtive, shadowy windows, and the very forms of the misshapen oaks and oddly sprawling shrubbery. Somehow, my elation became a trifle less exuberant as I entered the grounds and followed an unswept path to the front door. I found myself in the presence of John Carnby. My jubilation was still somewhat further diminished, though I could not have given a tangible reason for the premonitory chill, the dull, somber feeling of alarm that I experienced, and the leaden sinking of my spirits. Perhaps it was the dark library in which he received me as much as the man himself, a room whose musty shadows could never have been wholly dissipated by sun or lamplight. Indeed, it must have been this, for John Carnby himself was very much the sort of person I had pictured him to be. He had all the earmarks of the lonely scholar who had devoted patient years to some line of erudite research. He was thin and bent, with a massive forehead and a mane of grizzled hair. and the pallor of the library was on his hollow, clean-shaven cheeks. But coupled with this, there was a nerve-shattered air, a fearful shrinking that was more than the normal shyness of a recluse, and an unceasing apprehensiveness that betrayed itself in every glance of his dark-ringed, feverish eyes and every movement of his bony hands. In all likelihood, his health had been seriously impaired by over-application, and I could not help but wonder at the nature of the studies that had made him such a tremulous wreck. But there was something about him, perhaps the width of his bowed shoulders and the bold aquilinity of his facial outlines, which gave the impression of great former strength and a vigor not yet wholly exhausted. His voice was unexpectedly deep and sonorous. "I think you will do, Mr. Ogden," he said after a few formal questions, most of which related to my linguistic knowledge and in particular my mastery of Arabic. "Your labors will not be very heavy, but I want someone who can be on hand at any time required. Therefore, you must live with me. I can give you a comfortable room and guarantee that my cooking will not poison you. I often work at night and hope you will not find the irregular hours too disagreeable." No doubt, I should have been overjoyed at this assurance that the secretarial position was to be mine. Instead, I was aware of a dim, unreasoning reluctance and an obscure forewarning of evil as I thanked John Carnby and told him that I was ready to move in whenever he desired. He appeared to be greatly pleased, and the queer apprehensiveness went out of his manner for a moment. "Come immediately, this very afternoon if you can," he said. "I shall be very glad to have you, and the sooner the better. I have been living entirely alone for some time, and I must confess that the solitude is beginning to pall upon me. Also, I have been retarded in my labors for lack of the proper help. My brother used to live with me and assist me, but he has gone away on a long trip." I returned to downtown lodgings, paid my rent with the last few dollars that remained to me, packed my belongings, and in less than an hour was back at my new employer's home. He assigned me a room on the second floor, which, though unaired and dusty, was more than luxurious in comparison with the hall bedroom that failing funds had compelled me to inhabit for some time past. He took me to his own study, which was on the same floor at the further end of the hall. Here, he explained to me most of my future work would be done. I could hardly restrain an exclamation of surprise as I viewed the interior of the chamber. It was very much as I should have imagined the den of some old sorcerer to be. There were tables strewn with archaic instruments of doubtful use, with astrological charts, with skulls and alembics and crystals, with censers such as are used in the Catholic Church, and volumes bound in worm-eaten leather with verdigris mottled clasps. In one corner stood the skeleton of a large ape, in another a human skeleton, and overhead a stuffed crocodile was suspended. There were cases of There were cases overpiled with books, and even a cursory glance at the title showed me that they formed a singularly comprehensive collection of ancient and modern works on demonology and the black arts. There were some weird paintings and etchings on the walls, dealing with kindred themes, and the whole atmosphere of the room exhaled a medley of half-forgotten superstitions. Ordinarily, I would have smiled if confronted with such things, but somehow in this lonely, dismal house beside the neurotic, hag-ridden Cardme, it was difficult for me to repress an actual shudder. On one of the tables, contrasting incongruously with this melange of medievalism and Satanism, there stood a typewriter surrounded with piles of disorderly manuscript. At one end of the room, there was a small curtained alcove with a bed in which Carnby slept. At the end opposite the alcove, between the human and simian skeletons, I perceived a locked cupboard that set in the wall. Carnby had noted my surprise and was watching me with a keen, analytic expression which I found impossible to fathom. He began to speak in explanatory tones. "I have made a life study of demonism and sorcery," he declared. "It is a fascinating field and one that is singularly neglected. I am now preparing a monograph in which I am trying to correlate the magical practices and demon worship of every known age and people. Your labors, at least for a while, will consist in typing and arranging the voluminous preliminary notes which I have made, and in helping me track down other references and correspondences. Your knowledge of Arabic will be invaluable to me, for I am none too well grounded in this language myself, and I am depending for certain essential data on a copy of the Necronomicon in the original Arabic text. I have reason to think that there are certain omissions and erroneous renderings in the Latin version of Olaus Wormius. I had heard of this rare, well-high, fabulous volume, but had never seen it. The book was supposed to contain the ultimate secrets of evil and forbidden knowledge, and moreover, the original text, written by the mad Arab Abdul al-Hazred, was said to be unprocurable. I wondered how it had come into Carnby's possession. I'll show you the volume after dinner, Carnby went on. You will doubtless be able to elucidate one or two passages that have long puzzled me. The evening meal, cooked and served by my employer himself, was a welcome change from cheap restaurant fare. Carnby seemed to have lost a good deal of his nervousness. He was very talkative and even began to exhibit a certain scholarly gaiety after we had shared a bottle of mellow Sauterne. Still, with no manifest reason, I was troubled by intimations and forebodings which I could neither analyze nor trace to their rightful source. We returned to the study, and Carnby brought out from a locked drawer the volume of which he had spoken. It was enormously old and was bound in ebony covers, arabesqued with silver and set with darkly glowing garnets. When I opened the yellowing pages, I drew back with involuntary revulsion at the odor which arose from them, an odor that was more than suggestive of physical decay, as if the book had lain among corpses in some forgotten graveyard and had taken on the taint of dissolution. Carnby's eyes were burning with a fevered light as he took the old manuscript from my hands and turned to a page near the middle. He indicated a certain passage with his lean forefinger. "Tell me what you make of this," he said in a tense whisper. I deciphered the paragraph slowly and with some difficulty and wrote down a rough English version with the pad and pencil which Carnby offered me. Then, at his request, I read it aloud. "It is verily known by few, but it is nevertheless no attestable fact, that the will of a dead sorcerer hath power over his own body, and can raise it up from the tomb and perform therewith whatever action was unfulfilled in life. And such resurrections are invariably for the doing of malevolent deeds and for the detriment of others. Most readily can the corpse be animated if all its members have remained intact, and yet there are cases in which the excelling will of the wizard hath reared up from the dead the sundered pieces of the body, hewn in many fragments, and hath caused them to serve his end, either separately or in a temporary reunion. But in every instance, after the action hath been completed, the body lapseth into its former state." Of course, this was all errant gibberish. Probably it was the strange, unhealthy look of utter absorption with which my employer listened, more than that damnable passage from the Necronomicon, which caused my nervousness and made me start violently when, toward the end of my reading, I heard an indescribable slithering noise in the hall outside. But when I finished the paragraph and looked up at Carnby, I was more startled by the expression of stark, staring fear which his features had assumed, an expression as of one who is haunted by some hellish phantom. Somehow, I got the feeling that he was listening to that odd noise in the hallway rather than to my translation of Abdul al-Hazred. "The house is full of rats," he explained as he caught my inquiring glance. "I have never been able to get rid of them with all my efforts." The noise, which still continued, was that which a rat might make in dragging some object slowly along the floor. It seemed to draw closer, to approach the door of Carnby's room, and then, after an intermission, it began to move again and receded. My employer's agitation was marked. He listened with fearful intentness and seemed to follow the progress of the sound with a terror that mounted as it drew near and decreased a little with its recession. I am very nervous, he said. I have worked too hard lately, and this is the result. Even a little noise upsets me. The sound had now died away somewhere in the house. Carnby appeared to recover himself in a measure. Will you please reread your translation? He requested. I want to follow it very carefully, word by word. I obeyed. He listened with the same look of unholy absorption as before, and this time we were not interrupted by any noises in the hallway. Carnby's face grew paler, as if the last remnant of blood had been drained from it. When I read the final sentences, and the fire in his hollow eyes was like phosphorescence in a deep vault. That is a most remarkable passage, he commented. I was doubtful about its meaning with my imperfect Arabic, and I found that the passage is wholly omitted in the Latin of Olaus Wormius. Thank you for your scholarly rendering. You have certainly cleared it up for me. Pause for drink.
Yes, sir. You're doing excellent, my friend. I'm loving it. Doing a fantastic job. Also, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, get in there, man.
I wonder if this story isn't the direct inspiration for how the Necronomicon is used in the Evil Dead. Because in the Evil Dead, they find the recording of the professor talking about how you have to chop up the pieces to make sure that the deadites are dead. That seems like a very big coincidence. You know what I mean?
I'm sure that Raimi and the folks were aware of this story.
For sure. All right, yeah, man. Continue whenever you're ready. You're doing an awesome job.
I am ready. And we continue. His tone was dry and formal, as if he were repressing himself and holding back a world of unsurmisable thoughts and emotions. Somehow I felt that Carnby was more nervous and upset than ever, and also that my rendering from the Necronomicon had in some mysterious manner contributed to his perturbation. He wore a ghastly, brooding expression, as if his mind were busy with some unwelcome and forbidden theme. However, seeming to collect himself, he asked me to translate another passage. This turned out to be a singular incantory formula for the exorcism of the dead, with a ritual that involved the use of rare Arabian spices and the proper intoning of at least 100 names of ghouls and demons. I copied it all out for Carnby, who studied it for a long time with rapt eagerness that was more than scholarly. That, too, he observed, was not in the Olaus Wormius. After perusing it again, he folded the paper carefully and put it away in the same drawer from which he had taken the Necronomicon. That evening was one of the strangest I have ever spent. We sat for hour after hour discussing renditions from that unhallowed volume. I came to know more and more definitely that my employer was mortally afraid of something, that he dreaded being alone and was keeping me with him on this account rather than for any other reason. Always he seemed to be waiting and listening with the painful, tortured expectation, and I saw that he gave only a mechanical awareness to much that was said. Among the weird I got this word earlier now. Perturbances of the room, in that atmosphere of unmanifested evil, of untold horror, the rational part of my mind began to succumb slowly to a recrudescence of dark ancestral fears. A scorner of such things in my normal moments, I was now ready to believe in the most baleful creations of superstitious fancy. No doubt, by some process of mental contagion, I had caught the hidden terror from which Carnby suffered. By no word or syllable, however, did the man admit the actual feelings that were evident in his demeanor, but spoke repeatedly of a nervous ailment. More than once, during our discussion, he sought to imply that his interest in the supernatural and the satanic was wholly intellectual, that he, like myself, was without personal belief in such things. Yet I knew infallibly that his implications were false, that he was driven and obsessed by a real faith in all that he pretended to view with scientific detachment, and had doubtless been a victim to some imaginary horror entailed by his occult researches. but my intuition afforded me no clue to the actual nature of this horror. There was no repetition of the sounds that had been so disturbing to my employer. We must have sat till after midnight with the writings of the mad Arab open before us. At last, Carnby seemed to realize the lateness of the hour. "I fear I have kept you up too long," he said apologetically. "You must go and get some sleep. I am selfish, and I forgot that such hours are not habitual to others as they are to me." I made the formal denial of his self-impeachment, which courtesy required, said good night, and sought my own chamber with a feeling of intense relief. It seemed to me that I would leave behind me in Carnby's room all the shadowy fear and oppression to which I had been subjected. Only one light was burning in the long passage. It was near Carnby's door, and my own door, at the further end, close to the stairhead, was in deep shadow. As I groped for the knob, I heard a noise behind me and turned to see in the gloom a small, indistinct body that sprang from the hall landing to the top stair, disappearing from view. I was horribly startled, for even in that vague, fleeting glimpse, the thing that was much too pale for a rat and its form was not at all suggestive of an animal. I could not have sworn what it was, but the outlines had seemed unmentionably monstrous. I stood trembling violently in every limb and heard on the stairs a singular bumping sound like the fall of an object rolling downward from step to step. The sound was repeated at regular intervals and finally ceased. The safety of the soul and body had if the safety of soul and body had depended upon it, I could not have turned on the stair light, nor could I have gone to the top steps to ascertain the agency of that unnatural bumping. Anyone else, it might seem, would have done this. Instead, after a moment of virtual petrification, I entered my room, locked the door, and went to bed in a turmoil of unresolved doubt, equivocal fear. I left the light burning, and I lay awake for hours, expecting momentarily a reoccurrence of that abominable sound. But the house was as silent as a morgue, and I heard nothing. At length, in spite of my anticipations to the contrary, I fell asleep and did not awaken till after many sodden, dreamless hours. It was 10 o'clock, as my watch informed me. I wondered whether my employer had left me undisturbed through thoughtfulness or had not arisen himself. I dressed and went downstairs to find him waiting at the breakfast table. He was paler and more tremulous than ever, as if he had slept badly. "I hope the rats didn't annoy you too much," he remarked, after a preliminary greeting. "Something really must be done about them." "I didn't notice them at all," I replied. Somehow it was utterly impossible for me to mention the queer, ambiguous thing which I had seen and heard on retiring the night before. Doubtless I had been mistaken. Doubtless it had been merely a rat after all, dragging something down the stairs. I tried to forget the hideously repeated noise and the momentary flash of unthinkable outlines in the gloom. My employer eyed me with uncanny sharpness, as if he sought to penetrate my inmost mind. Breakfast was a dismal affair, and the day that followed no less dreary. Carnby isolated himself to the middle of the afternoon, and I was left to my own devices in the well-supplied but conventional library downstairs. What Carnby was doing alone in his room I could not surmise, but I thought more than once that I heard a faint, monotonous intonations of a solemn voice. Horror-breeding hints and noisome intuitions invaded my brain. More and more the atmosphere of that house enveloped and stifled me with poisonous, miasmal mystery, and I felt everywhere the invisible brooding of malignant incubi. It was almost a relief when my employer... hang on, I'm getting a drink of water. Fuck this. It was almost a relief when my employer summoned me to his study. Entering, I noticed that the air was full of a pungent, aromatic smell and was touched by the vanishing coils of a blue vapor. as if from the burning of oriental gums and spices in the church censers. An Ispahan rug had been moved from its position near the wall to the center of the room, but was not sufficient to cover entirely a curving violet mark that suggested the drawing of a magic circle on the floor. No doubt Carnby had been performing some sort of incantation, and I thought of the awesome formula I had translated at his request. However, he did not offer any explanation of what he had been doing. His manner had changed remarkably and was more controlled and confident than at any former time. In a fashion almost businesslike, he laid before me a pile of manuscript which he wanted me to type for him. The familiar click of the keys aided me somewhat in dismissing any apprehensions of vague evil, and I could almost smile at the recherche and terrific information comprised in my employer's notes, which dealt mainly with the formula for the acquisition of unlawful power. But still, beneath my reassurance, there was a vague, lingering disquietude.
Can I stop you for just 1 second?
Yeah.
What is that R word that you said?
Recherche?
Yeah, what the hell does that mean?
Research, French, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, you just fucking knew what that was right away. Goddamn. All right. Proceed.
Evening came, and after our meal, we returned again to the study. There was a tenseness in Carnby's manner now, as if he were eagerly awaiting the result of some hidden test. I went on with my work, but some of his emotion communicated itself to me, and ever and anon I caught myself in an attitude of strained listening. At last, above the click of the keys, I heard the peculiar slithering in the hall. Carnby had heard it too, and his confident look utterly vanished, giving place to the most pitiable fear. The sound drew nearer and was followed by a dull, dragging noise, and then by more sounds of an unidentifiable slithering and scuttling nature that varied in loudness. The hall was seemingly full of them, as if a whole army of rats were hauling some carrion booty along the floor. And yet no rodent or number of rodents could have made such sounds, or could have moved anything so heavy as the objects which came behind the rest. There was something in the character of those noises, something without name or definition, which caused a slowly creeping chill to invade my spine. Good Lord, what is all that racket? I cried. The rats, I tell you, it's only the rats. Carnby's voice had a high, hysterical shriek. A moment later, there came an unmistakable knocking at the door near the sill. At the same time, I heard a heavy thudding in the locked cupboard at the further end of the room. Carnby had been standing erect, but now he sank limply into a chair. His features were ashen, and his look was almost maniacal with fright. The nightmare doubt and tension became unbearable, and I ran to the door and flung it open. In spite of frantic remonstrance from my employer. I had no idea what I should find as I stepped across the sill into the dim-lit hall. When I looked down and saw the thing on which I had almost trodden, my feeling was one of sick amazement and actual nausea. It was a human hand that had been severed at the wrist, a bony bluish hand like that of a week-old corpse, with garden mold on the fingers and under the long nails. The damnable thing had moved. It had drawn back to avoid me and was crawling along the passage somewhere in the manner of a crab. And following it with my gaze, I saw that there were other things beyond it, one of which I recognized as a man's foot and another as a forearm. I dared not look at the rest. All were moving slowly, hideously away in charnel procession, and I cannot describe the fashion in which they moved, their individual vitality horrifying beyond endurance. It was more than the vitality of life, yet the air was laden with a carrion taint. I averted my eyes and stepped back into Carnby's room, closing the door behind me with a shaking hand. Carnby was at my side with the key, which he turned in the lock with palsy-stricken fingers that had become as feeble as those of a man. You saw them? Asked in a dry, quavering whisper. In God's name, what does it all mean? I cried. Carnby went back to his chair, tottering a little with weakness. His lineaments were agonized by the gnawing of some inward horror, and he shook visibly like an ague patient. I sat down on a chair beside him, and he began to stammer forth his unbelievable confession, half incoherently, with his inconsequential mouthings and many breaks and pauses. Speaking of pauses, son of a bitch.
Doing great, buddy.
What? He is stronger than I am, even in death, even with his body dismembered by the surgeon's knife and saw that I used. I thought he could not return after that, after I had buried the portions in a dozen different places, in the cellar, beneath the shrubs, foot of the ivy vines. But the Necronomicon is right, and Hellman Carnby knew it. He warned me before I killed him. He told me he could return even in that condition. But I did not believe him. I hated Hellman, and he hated me too. He had attained to higher power and knowledge, and was more favored by the Dark Ones than I. That is why I killed him, my own twin brother, and my brother in the service of Satan and of those who were before Satan. We had studied together for many years. We had celebrated the Black Mass together, and we were attended by the same familiars. But Hellman Carnby had gone deeper into the occult and into the forbidden, where I could not follow him. I feared him and could not endure his supremacy. It was more than a week. It is 10 days since I did the deed, but Hellman or some part of him has returned every night. God! His accursed hands crawling on the floor. His feet, his arms, the segments of his legs, climbing the stairs in some unmentionable way to haunt me. Christ! His awful, bloody torso lying in wait. I tell you, his hands have come even by day to tap and fumble at my door, and I have stumbled over his arms in the dark. Oh, God, I shall go mad with the awfulness of it, but he wants me to go mad. He wants to torture me till my brain gives way. That is why he haunts me in this piecemeal fashion. He could end it all at any time with the demoniacal power that is his. He could reknit his sundered limbs and body and slay me as I slew him. How carefully I buried the parts, with what infinite forethought, and how useless it was. I buried the saw and knife, too, at the farther end of the garden, as far away as possible from his evil, itching hands, but I did not bury the head with the other pieces. I kept it in that cupboard at the end of the room. Sometimes I have heard it moving there, as you heard it a little while ago, but he does not need the head. His will is elsewhere. He can work intelligently through all his members. Of course, I locked all the doors and windows at night when I found that he was coming back, but it made no difference. I have tried to exorcise him with the appropriate incantations, with all those that I knew. Today I tried that sovereign formula from the Necronomicon, which you translated for me. I got you here to translate it. Also, I could no longer bear to be alone, and I thought that it might help if there was someone else in the house. That formula was my last hope. I thought it would hold him. It is the most ancient and most dreadful incantation, but, as you have seen, it is useless. His voice trailed off in a broken mumble, and he sat staring before him with sightless and tolerable eyes in which I saw the beginning flare of madness. I could say nothing. The confession he had made was so ineffably atrocious. The moral shock, the ghastly supernatural horror had almost stupefied me. My sensibilities were stunned, and it was not till I had begun to recover that I felt the irresistible surge of a flood of loathing for the man beside me. I rose to my feet. The house had grown very silent, as if the macabre and charnel army of beleaguerment had now retired to its various graves. Carnby had left the key in the lock, and I went to the door and turned it quickly. "Are you leaving?" Don't go, Carnby begged in a voice that was tremulous with alarm, as I stood with my hand on the doorknob. Yes, I am going, I said coldly. I am resigning my position right now. I intend to pack my belongings and leave your house with as little delay as possible. I opened the door and went out, refusing to listen to the arguments and pleadings and protestations he had begun to babble. For the nonce, I preferred to face whatever might lurk in the gloomy passage, no matter how loathsome and terrifying, rather than endure any longer the society of John Carnby. The hall was empty, but I shuddered with repulsion at the memory of what I had seen as I hastened to my room. I think I should have screamed aloud at the least sound or movement in the shadows. I began to pack my valise with a feeling of the most frantic urgency and compulsion. It seemed to me that I could not escape soon enough from that house of abominable secrets, over which hung an atmosphere of smothering menace. I made mistakes in my haste. I stumbled over chairs, and my brain and fingers grew numb with a paralyzing dread. I had almost finished my task when I heard the sound of slow, measured footsteps coming up the stairs. I knew that it was not Carnby, for he had locked himself immediately in his room when I had left. I felt sure that nothing could have tempted him to emerge. Anyway, he could have hardly gone downstairs without my hearing him. The footsteps came to the top of the landing and went past my door along the hall with that same dread, monotonous repetition, regular as the movement of a machine. Certainly it was not the soft, nervous tread of John Carnby. Who, then, could it be? My blood stood still in my veins. I dared not finish the speculation that arose in my mind. The steps paused, and I knew that they had reached the door of Carnby's room. There followed an interval in which I could scarcely breathe, and then I heard an awful crashing and shattering noise, and above it the soaring scream of a man in the utmost extremity of fear. I was powerless to move, as if an unseen iron hand had reached forth to restrain me, and I have no idea how long I waited and listened. The scream had fallen away in a swift silence, and I heard nothing now except a low, peculiar, recurrent sound which my brain refused to identify. It was not my own volition, but a stronger will than mine, which drew me forth at last and impelled me down the hall to Carnby's study. I felt the presence of that will as an overpowering, superhuman thing, a demoniac force, a malignant mesmerism. The door of the study had been broken in and was hanging by one hinge. It was splintered as by the impact of more than a mortal strength. A light was still burning in the room, and the unmentionable sound that I had been hearing ceased as I neared the threshold. It was followed by an evil, utter stillness. Again I paused and could go no further, but this time it was something other than the hellish, all-pervading magnetism that petrified my limbs and arrested me before the sill. Peering into the room, in the narrow space that was framed by the doorway and lit by an unseen lamp, I saw one end of the oriental rug and the gruesome outlines of a monstrous, unmoving shadow that fell beyond it to the floor. Huge, elongated, misshapen, the shadow was seemingly cast by the arms and torso of a naked man who stooped forward with a surgeon's saw in his hand. Its monstrosity lay in this. Though the shoulders, chest, abdomen, and arms were all clearly distinguishable, the shadow was headless and appeared to terminate at an abruptly severed neck. It was impossible, considering the relative position, for the head to have been concealed from sight through any manner of foreshortening. I waited, powerless to enter or withdraw. The blood had flown back into my heart in an ice-thick tide, and thought was frozen in my brain. An interval of termless terror, and then, from the hidden end of Carnby's room, in the direction of the locked cupboard, there came a fearsome and violent crash, sound of splintering wood and whining hinges, followed by the sinister, dismal thud of an unknown object striking the floor. Again there was silence, a silence as if consummated evil brooding above its unnameable triumph. The shadow had not stirred. There was a hideous contemplation in its attitude, and the saw was still held in its poisoning hand, as if above a completed task. Another interval, and then, without warning, I witnessed the awful and unexplainable disintegration of the shadow, which seemed to break gently and easily into many different shadows ere it faded from view. I hesitate to describe the manner or specify the places in which this singular disruption, this manifold cleavage occurred. Simultaneously, I heard the muffled clatter of a metallic implement on the Persian rug, and a sound that was not that of a single body, but of many bodies falling. Once more, there was silence. A silence as of some nocturnal cemetery, when grave diggers and ghouls are done with their macabre toil and the dead alone remain. Drawn by that baleful mesmerism, like a somnambulist led by an unseen demon, I entered the room. I knew with a loathly prescience the sight that awaited me beyond the sill, the double heap of human segments, some of them fresh and bloody, and others already blue with beginning putrefaction and marked with earth stains that were mingled in an abhorrent confusion on the rug. A reddened knife and saw were protruding from the pile, and a little to one side, between the rug and the open cupboard with its shattered door, there reposed a human head that was fronting with other remnants in an upright posture. Sorry. It was in the same condition of incipient decay as the body to which it had belonged, but I swear that I saw the fading of malignant exultation from its features as I entered. Even with the marks of corruption upon them, the lineaments bore a manifest likeness of John Carnby, and plainly they could belong only to a twin brother. The frightful inferences that smothered my brain with their black and clammy cloud are not to be written here. The horror which I beheld, and the greater horror which I surmised, would have put to shame hell's foulest enormities in their frozen pits. There was but one mitigation and one mercy. I was compelled to gaze only for a few instants on that intolerable scene. Then all at once I felt something had withdrawn from the room. The malign spell was broken. The overpowering volition that had held me captive was gone. It had released me now, even as it had released the dismembered corpse of Hellman Carnby. I was free to go, and I fled from the ghastly chamber and ran headlong through an unlit house and into the outer darkness of the night.
The end.
The end.
Good stuff. It's a cool little story.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I fucking love Clark Ashton Smith, man. Smith?
Smith?
I love Clark Ashton Smith. Yeah, he's incredible. Honestly, I think that he has. I'm gonna say it. I was talking to Sean about this in the chat earlier while you were reading. I think that he's surpassed Lovecraft in terms of like my favorite weird fiction author from that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's very good, for sure.
I think that he's definitely a better writer. He's not as verbose, if I'm using that word correctly, as Lovecraft was.
Probably pretty close.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I know some things. Sean liked it.
Hell yeah.
I liked it too. That was fun. I love this. Are you pretty wore out then, vocally, Fran?
Yeah.
Okay. I think...
Everyone's great at Steve King.
Oh, are you going back through the comments?
Yeah.
So I lost. I don't know how I do these things, but my fucking blender tool. I lost like all the other options. Yeah, Clark Ashton Smith. Go ahead.
What? No, man. My head is a little woozy from reading all that.
Yeah, you did an awesome job. That was really fun. Matthew and I, Josh said you were lulling my demons to sleep. Good. That's why we're here, Josh. Oh, I have got to shift the colors in this picture a bit because the foreground is too much like the background. Matthew and I were talking about doing this like routinely. Let's see here. What was that? What was the schedule suggestion that you had, Sarah? Do you remember?
That we do like on a 4-week rotation. We do Land of the Lost. We have a week of bullshit, a week where we read some kind of a story, and a week of bullshit. So it will be once. Fuck, hang on. Let me get my brain back here real quick. We'd be like on a 4-week schedule, more or less.
Yeah, okay. Well, that works for me, man.
Woo-wee. Man, I gotta get better at reading aloud. It has been a minute since I've done that. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, I don't, for some reason, it takes it out of you. I know how it is. I know how it be. It's too yellow.
Yeah, I used to read out loud fairly regularly, and I haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, buddy. I feel you.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to. Sean said, "Is Trey providing an illustrated weekly calendar PDF to print out to remind us of this complicated schedule now?" Nope, it's going to be a surprise every time it happens. It's going to be a fun new surprise for you unless you remember. Is that too purple in the background? This is a question to you and the audience when it catches up.
I feel like it blends a little bit too much with his costume.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix that. I've been trying to change the colors in the background. Jennifer Taylor would make a great Betty Boop. That is out of nowhere. However, not incorrect. I would have.
I don't know what Jennifer Tilly is.
I might, Sean. We could do a poll. Does Facebook do polls?
Yeah.
Well, hell, we should get some. We should get a poll going, huh?
Probably.
We'll have to pick out some stories. And oh, no, that looks muddy and gross. I don't like it.
How long did it take for me to read that, by the way? I felt like I was reading way too fast. That's another thing I'm going to have to work on with my pacing.
Actually, I think you were doing pretty good. I think your pacing was pretty good because it's 8:05. So I think you're about right, you know?
It'll take about half an hour?
Yeah, or a little over, like
Ish.
40 minutes, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, when Horror Babble read this story, he said, he said that, as far as he knew, that story was the first use of the Necronomicon and the Cthulhu mythos outside of Lovecraft's writings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we could do some creepypasta. Sean said your pacing was great, and Josh recommended
Thank you, Sean.
Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, I'm down to read whatever.
There's one story, another Clark Ashton Smith story, that whenever we get to that one, I had actually started a more like kind of a detailed thumbnail of a comic based on it. I've got like at least 2 or 3 pages of that, and I'm going to work on that while Matt reads the story for it, and then I'll get to do a special voice. towards the end of that story. uh, anyway, we don't have anything else scheduled to read tonight. But we can just. Oh, I know, Matthew. I know. Let's talk about spooky things that have happened to us. I know it puts you on the spot.
Okay.
We could do some Stephen King, some of his short stories. Do you have to pay royalties for reading on streams? Not if it's
we're not making any money.
Yeah, we're not making any money, and also, Clark Ashton Smith is public domain. Or at least most of his stories are. So it's hopefully not something we'll have to worry about. I don't know if you knew this, but every post becomes a ghost when you have a witch's brew.
I want you to die.
Well, excuse me.
Wow, it's a little harsh, mister.
Wowie wow. Okay, well, can't say I like your tone. Good energy, a little bit hurtful. I think maybe we all need to work on our communication and our trust.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I wish. Damn, I didn't plan anything else spooky to talk about. Are you too pooped to read anything else, buddy?
Yeah, my throat is fucked, dude. Like I said, I haven't done this for years, man. Years. Since I taught school on the slab, probably.
Oh, shoot, right on. Dragon Riders of Pern. Dragon Riders of Pern is fun. Well, I mean, I don't know. You tell me what you want to do. I think we would probably mostly stick to like horror or science fiction. But I guess we could just read whatever,
Yeah.
It's whatever you feel like doing.
I don't know if I would pick up and read a novel.
Yeah, right.
That seems like a lot.
We'll probably just stick to short fiction.
Gooey Huey.
And Hamster Huey and the Gooey Kablooey. Horror westerns. There was a comic book that ran in Heavy Metal Magazine in the 80s called Texarkana. It's hella good. It's like all pencil artwork, but like the artwork is like super like intricate, very detailed, and it's got like a dead like what is he? Oh, he's a horse thief. No, he's a claims jumper. It's got a dead claims jumper as in the role of like a crypt keeper type role, like a EC Comics, and he like introduces the story, but it's just one ongoing story. It's really, really cool. Highly recommended. I believe it's been collected into trade paperback. It's a real good story, or it's a real good comic. It's really fun. And it's a western. It takes place in the Old West. Erotic sci-fi body slasher horror. We could find some of that shit. No problem. Don't you worry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a rock fact. That's
I don't know what that means.
So there was this awesome little miniseries on Cartoon Network back in the day, a few years ago, called Over the Garden Wall. Ooh, that Sean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, give me a sec. I just got distracted by what Sean said. I am reading the newest folk horror sci-fi collection that just came out. What is that called, Sean? Could you throw us a link, friend? Because that sounds dope as fuck. Yeah, Over the Garden Wall. And it's really, really good. Quite funny. And there's this little kid who carries a rock around with a face. He has like googly eyes and a painted mouth on it. Oh, thanks for coming, Josh. We appreciate you coming
Hell yeah,
by.
Josh. All right. You and the Miz take care of yourselves, all right?
Yeah. Take care of yourselves. Happy Halloween.
Woo!
Whoa. Yeah, I hope you feel better, and I hope your missus feels better, Josh. Take it easy. Ah, love you too, buddy. We will have fun, but not as much fun as if you were still here. What's that? Yes, I am a sappy guy. What are you gonna fucking do about it? You gonna scream and cry and run away? I don't think so. I'm gonna have to go potty again. Did I say that?
Probably.
Okay, well, it's true though.
Okay.
Every post becomes a ghost when you have a witch's brew. You like that, Matthew? Because it's stuck in my head now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Boy.
Boy, oh, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to hopefully mute my mic and then go take a little potty. I'm going to save this first. All right, I will BRB.
Okay. You BRB. Oh, and Sean saved it. I'm not sure how many people are here. But yeah, no, thank you for listening. That was fun. I enjoy reading aloud, and I really haven't done it to any great extent for 11 years, give or take some months in there. But yeah, on the horse, good story. I was going to say something else, and I immediately forgot. The current neurodivergent. Shit. Yeah, so if you guys have suggestions, feel free to DM either Trey or I or both of us, depending on your friend lies. And we'll get a poll going. And in 4 weeks, hopefully be able to do it again. And that's it. I'm still having trouble distinguishing this hood in any meaningful way from the background, but I am slightly colorblind. So maybe that's the deal with me. Maybe that's what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? Trying to remember that song, and I can't really remember it very well. Anyways, man, that pooped me out, man. My head is like fuzzy from that reading. The fuck? Sorry, dudes. I checked out a little minute. In other news, I can't find my Kindle, and I'm very angry because I had written some notes on there for a writing project that I'm currently undertaking, and I cannot find it anywhere in my house. So I guess I will have to rewrite it, which is frustrating to me. However, it is what it is. And like it used to be, he would pee and it would take like 30 seconds. Now he's taking like thousands of hours. How much pee can one body have? Not that much. False. He's getting a snack. I know it. Nice. Yeah, I need to do something here. I had I don't even know, some little writing program on there that I would take notes when I was just like chilling out around my kids or something. I didn't want to get a piece of paper. I could just take a note, and I read books and shit, of course, but I've seemed to have misplaced it, or someone assisted me in misplacing it, because I've been up one side of this house and down the other. And I'm not saying I'm good at looking for things, because I will typically look right past something, but damn, I've looked over everything about 4 times and no dice. No dice. It is very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. Anybody done anything cool? Better question. Anybody doing anything cool for Halloween? I'm not. I'll probably have a little bit of candy. Turn my porch light off because fuck them kids. But other than that, man, I'll maybe watch a spooky show. I don't know. A spooky show. What should I watch, you think? That new Halloween Kills, maybe. Possibly. Possibly not. So this is fun. Just watching a static image of Treys' artwork on the screen while you hear me talk about literal nothing, because I'm a terrible conversationalist unless I'm feeding off of someone's energy. Which makes me sound pretty vampiric, and maybe I am. What if I am a vampire? Then what? What are you going to do? So at the Comic-Con, when you're running the Halloween thing, I mean, is it just like a theme, or are there activities or shows that are being shown, or is anybody doing anything special? What does that look like, Sean?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I'm afraid I've bored everybody to death.
Oh, well, if they're dead, that's spooky.
Yep.
Sean, hell yes. Halloween 3 rules. It's so underrated. I love Joe Bob Briggs, but he's wrong because he doesn't like Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is cool as hell. It is excellent. It's got nothing to do with the other Halloweens. And it's really fun. It's a fun story. I enjoy it immensely. Okay. Let's see. I'll probably go a little bit longer on this painting. Actually, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like moving on to something else.
I'm feeling like moving on to the bathroom and taking a mighty wee.
Okay. Sean said, no, it's nothing special. Just one of those dates. They sometimes have candy at every booth for kids. Do kind of cool. An artist alley. All the artists give out candy to kids. Oh, so kind of cool.
That's cool.
It is cool. It sounds
That's
fun.
cool. All right, I'll be back.
All right, bro. Matthew had to go to the bathroom. How spooky is that? Ooh! One time, I'm going to tell a farm story while Matthew's gone. You know what? Maybe I'll wait till he gets back. I'll wait till he gets back. It's a fun little story from on the farm. But I have to remember. I have to remember to tell him when he gets back. Hopefully I will. Lol. 'Cause my brain is mush. It's made of gush. Sean, you barely drink your Baileys? Well, come on, Sean. The night is young. There's no hurry. There's no rush. Oh, you know what? I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that color. I like that color that's right there. La la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. There's nothing scarier than that song, right? 'Cause Halloween! I love Halloween, y'all. I wish...
Okay.
Oh, he's coming back. Here it comes. Here comes the boy. Have you read Edward Lee's Lovecraftian horror books? Wow, there's some sick stuff. Pretty cool. I've never even heard of it. Sean? Never even heard of it. But I'm always down for something new, you know? Do you know what they're called? I guess I could just Google it. Do my work for me, Sean. Do my homework for me. Grar, this is a grumpy man. Ooh, is he scary? Wow, Trey wins the bigger piss contest. Well, I wasn't pissing, so maybe don't give me that award just yet. I had to make a Beatus potty break. That's pretty fun. See, I don't think I like those highlights in there though. I don't know what Matthew's doing. It sounds like he's stapling things. Matthew's doing some paperwork for the office. I guess. I don't know. Oh.
Just the end.
Hello.
This was Rush Limbaugh. I went back to Ohio, but my family was gone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Free Speech Network call. I made fun of people that died of AIDS and then I died of cancer. What a cunt. Ooh, I just said the C word. Sorry about that, folks. Damn. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but still.
No, it doesn't matter, because fuck Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, for sure.
He's a toxic piece of shit.
Oh, for sure. Matthew, what's your review on how Biden is doing?
Biden is doing predictably. He's, he's a career politician. He knows who's paying the bills. And I mean, he's been doing this since the jump, man. Manafort era lobbyists have paid this dude. Paul Manafort's a real piece of shit, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
Real piece of shit. Real piece of shit. Terrible person.
Real piece of shit. All the trailer park girls go rounding outside, rounding outside, rounding outside.
Come on.
Guess who sucks? Sucks again. Manafort. Tell your friends. You gonna get 2 terms?
Ooh, 2 terms. 2 terms.
I don't think so.
Man, that's tough.
Because Trump's gonna get another term.
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
Boy, you know, that's the kind of scary I don't really want to think about on Halloween.
Well,
that's a different kind of scary.
I mean, Biden won by a pretty big margin.
Yeah, he did.
But, you know, that was with Joe Biden was kind of an unknown known. Like, we didn't really know what was going on, but a lot of people wanted relief. So I think that they voted like Republicans that were fence sitters, rhinos or whatever. So they kind of just voted to not have Trump, but I don't know that Biden is doing anything to endear himself to those fence sitters. And it wouldn't take too many to jump out.
Well, he also
bend it the other way.
He got in also because, like, you know, the Democrats who miss Obama were like, oh, hell yeah, let's get Joe in because he was with Obama.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's that's a hard one. That's a hard one. I know that I don't know. I haven't really tracked Trump since his loss, but if he decides to run again in 2024, he would be a pretty tough opponent to beat. He was tough the first time around. And with the Electoral College and with gerrymandering and all that shit, you know, it's that's hard to say. I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to try to push Biden through for another 80 years. I'm assuming that they're not going to like throw their weight behind somebody else. They probably should. But right now, the voter pool isn't young enough to actually make a good decision for the country.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the COVID issues were certainly a part of it. Also, Trump just being an absolute asshat and a terrible person.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, he's such a clown. Anyway, I want to think about something that's not uber depressing on our fun
Good luck finding that.
on our fun Halloween stream. Okay, pupils or no pupils? I'm kind of liking the pupils.
Well, let's see it without pupils.
It's been without pupils the whole time.
What are the orange things then?
I just added. There's no orange, honey. That's red.
Oh yeah, without for sure. I just saw it.
You don't like it with?
Hang on.
You don't like the black dots?
Because
I kind of like the black dots.
Yeah. No, they're kind of good, man.
Okay.
They're kind of good now that I'm looking at it.
Now, here's the
Hillary going to run again when Biden is done. Democrat leaders have to be over 90 anyway, right? Yeah, for sure. They're on some Mitch McConnell energy, to be sure. I don't know if Hillary's going to run. I would like her not to run. I don't especially like Hillary.
No, she sucks.
Because she's really not a good person. And she's racist, and she's bought and paid for, and I don't like her. I don't know that I want like a super outsider. I don't want a Democrat version of Trump, but it would be nice to have somebody that maybe would provide some leadership and actually make some calls that Biden should be making right now while he has everything in his favor that he's not doing because he's a piece of shit. They'll never let Bernie be president. They never were going to let Bernie be president. That's been pretty much my stance for the past quite a while.
Yeah. I'm going to switch tracks here and tell a fun, spooky story.
Okay.
Sean, please stop asking Matthew questions about politics. Because it's making me depressed and I want to be fun. I don't want to think about this right now. Not that you shouldn't think about it ever, which of course you should. We need to be savvy about our politics. I just watched, from Anna's recommendation, I just watched that fucking documentary on HBO Max called 4 Days at the Capitol, I think. Or no, 4 Hours at the Capitol about January 6th.
Yeah.
Real eye-opening stuff. Not fun, but it's like, if you want to get real mad, give it a peek.
So you like horror unless it's like real life horror and then it's out of bounds, right?
Yes, of course, obviously. Like everyone else who likes horror.
No, I saw that and it's definitely on my watch list. But yeah, no, I have a tendency to take it slow with new political information because I get real angry.
Yeah.
And
yeah, me too. Anna got back from the store not too long ago. She had to take her child shopping for clothes. Shopping and groceries and what have you. So I don't actually know if Anna's watching yet or not. But she did. I sent her the link. She hit me up a little bit ago, said she just got back. So, okay. So, Matthew, I wanted to wait till you were back to tell this story.
Okay.
So, this will be a fun on the farm story. So, our uncle, the cult leader, towards the end of Matthew and I's term in the on the farm, our prison sentence. Towards the end, our uncle built this gigantic house. Okay, and it like I don't remember. I think he had some like inheritance money or some shit,
Yes.
and he used it to buy a whole bunch of wood and shit to make a house. I'm going to read this comment real quick. That's why I don't really watch true crime or serial killer type stuff. Most of my favorite horror is over-the-top B films. Hashtag not realism in my horror. I agree, Sean. I also like true crime stuff, though. It is fascinating to me, but I can only take so much of it at a time. Like, I love Last Podcast on the Left, but if it like gets real intense, I have to I have to listen to other things too, just to kind of level it out. Because the horror of the human mind is the greatest horror of all. But yeah, I prefer my horror with supernatural elements. What's up?
Also, by inheritance money, we mean his wife's inheritance money because he inherited nothing from his parents.
Right.
I mean, he might have got something from his biological father, but that would have been before I was born. I think he died, or I was very small. So
yes. So
it was long gone.
He built this house, or he started to build it. He made it partially out of cob, and cob is made of clay, sand, water, and straw. It's like adobe. You're basically having a big clay house. And he started building it way too late. So, like, the cob was going to freeze, and if it freezes, it'll wreck it. So, everybody out there, like all the men, had to, like, take turns and sleep in his giant house, keeping a roaring fire going all night. Sorry, I got distracted. So it came up, like Matthew and I were like, hey, let's go together and hang out. And at this time, we had been reading, we spent our time out there that night reading this book that I have called The Unexplained by Jerome Clark. It's a real good one. It's basically just like an overview of different, topics of like supernatural and paranormal things. And we spent the night reading it and spooking ourselves. And then, like, the time came, and we both had to go to the bathroom. And we're like, oh, my God, we got to go together, right? I mean, do you remember this, Matthew?
Vaguely.
We're like, okay, we're going to have to go outside together so the monsters don't get us, so we don't get picked off by the Mothman. So we went out together, and we went pee. And then, like, we had the door jitters on the way back, okay? There's candles going inside the house. And there's a roaring fire in a stove. There was a metal wood-burning stove inside the house, Sean. And, like, right, just as we're going back in, I distinctly remember, like, oh, God, we got to get in fast, quick! And we term that door jitters when you're going someplace, like maybe you're walking downstairs from a creepy attic. Just as you get to the bottom is when you get the door jitters, because that's right before you're going to get snatched by whatever horrifying eldritch thing is right behind you. So, door jitters is a term that Matthew and I have used ever since. That's a fun, spooky story. Do you have any fun, spooky stories, Matthew, that aren't horrifying?
Once I was walking through a field, and like all around me was this tremendous buzzing.
Oh, yeah.
And I could not locate the source. I didn't see any bees. I didn't see any flies. I even got down on the ground and was looking at flowers to see if there was like a bunch of bees on the ground. I could find nothing. And I mean, I'm a former beekeeper, so I know what to look for bees and for swarms and shit like that. And as long as I stood there, it was going. I eventually just got sick of standing there looking for this thing I couldn't see, so I just left. So I left the buzzing behind. I have no idea what it was, and it was confined to just a small area, like a little hilltop. And once I left, it was done.
I remember that. I remember you fucking telling me about that. That's wild.
It was very strange.
I think you got abducted. Did you
Probably did.
Did you cross streams? Yes. Oh, Sean
Yeah.
said, why do you have a roaring fire going inside a giant house? We had to keep the cob from freezing because the old man started building his house far too late. And if cob freezes, it'll become brittle and break apart. So we had to keep a fire going inside so the cob wouldn't freeze.
I feel like I've seen Wrong Turn.
Like the original?
I think so.
I haven't, but I'd like to. It's on my list. Every year I try to pick off another horror film that I haven't seen.
I just bit my own tongue like a fucking wiener.
Gross. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Give me just
I'm not impressed.
What time is it? 8:37. You want to quit it around 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So next week be a bullshit stream where we just like our old streams, just do whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds good to me.
Heck yeah, bud.
Boop, ba-doop, scoobity boop, scoop bop boop, Halloween. Don't watch the others. The newest one is awesome. I didn't know there was a newest one, Sean. Is that like on Amazon or where's Dad at?
Where do you find that then?
Trailers for sale. You know what? I don't think I should give each scale a highlight. I feel like that won't look as good. I don't know. Painting is hard, but
Yeah.
I really enjoy it though.
It looks like a poop time.
It's really fun though. I really love it. I love the use of colors. You know, I love making an image. I enjoy
Room to let 50 cents.
Man on me, by no means, king of the road. Here's my gug. I don't know if I worked on this on stream. Did I?
I don't know. I'm not. Maybe. I don't think so.
Should I ink it or should I try to start a painting?
Should you stay or should you go now?
Oh, cool. Thank you, Sean. We'll have to check that out. I'll definitely check it out. Does everybody see this monster? What do you think? Should I ink it or
That
should
looks like the fucker from Conan the Destroyer. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, got that sideways mouth.
Yeah.
Got that sideways mouth. Maybe that was inspired by the gug. I don't know.
It looks like a vagina.
It wouldn't be inappropriate because Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard were friends. Know what I'm saying? So, okay, for the next 20 minutes, should I work on Gug or Shambling Mound or Colors for Musgrave? What does the audience think?
What does the audience think? Audience. Hello. Hello. Shambling Mound is what you were working on like last week. Was that last week?
I think so.
Or the week before?
Must have been
It's
a week
one of
before.
them times.
Yeah. I'm not ready to work on this Musgrave yet because I have to get it right. I don't, but I think it's looking good so far.
Sean says Shambling Mound. That's one vote for Shambling Mound. That might be 100% of the votes.
It could be. Anna's watching now. Hi, Anna. Thank you for
Right on.
watching. She just got home.
Hi, Anna.
Hello. All right, well, here's a shambling mound.
Shim sham shambalin.
Shim sham shambalam, shim sham shambalam, shim sham shambalam, shame. You remember that?
Uh-huh.
Oh, where's my baby? I don't know. 32 footsteps, counted on myself, 32 footsteps. Okay, I'm going to close the Gug then.
Bye, Gug.
Bye-bye, Gug.
Oh, my Gug.
Oh, my Gug. Oh, we are children, are we not? Oh, yes. What's your favorite horror story, Matthew? Let's narrow that down. What's your favorite horror short story?
I really like that one with the hand that runs around assassinating people by Kenneth Lee.
I don't even know if I've read that. Do you remember what it's called?
No. I
It's
don't.
called-
I'm a bad person.
It's called Running Round Hand.
Running round hand.
Running Round Hand.
Running round hand. Ow, god damn, my foot is cramping again.
Anna says hello, everybody. She's watching on the TV, so she can't see the chat. She says hi. Hello. Why you get a cramp? Stop.
Because it's a fucker. I don't know. Kenneth Lee short stories. Fuck me.
Matthew's dying. How we will miss you, friend. Where's my baby? I don't know. 32 footsteps. Counted on myself. 32 footsteps.
Well, we're just going to go through this. Anyways, I don't remember, but like these people would like send their hands to go fucking kill people or something.
Sounds dope. It's a very strange idea. I like it. Ooh, Sean just shared a link. There's a new Shirley Jackson-inspired short story collection I want to read. That sounds awesome. Shirley Jackson is cool.
She's Kenneth Lee. I really like Kenneth Lee.
Me too.
Her shit is just really good.
Yeah.
The Sombrous Tower, maybe?
Is that what it is?
It's from Weird Tales 2, and I feel like that's where I read it at. The Sombrous Tower. Hang on. Let me type this in. The Sombrous Tower. I think I'm... No, that's not it. Son of a bitch. Where is it? Fucking where? What the fuck? The Sombrous Tower. I think it was in Weird Tales. Was it in Weird Tales?
I hope you are not asking me, Sarah. For I do not know. Oh, nope, that's no good.
I feel like...
Okay. To him be the glory. To him be
the song.
Sighing the beautiful reckons the fart. I was thinking that the other day.
At all. Well, shoot farts. I'll find it here at some point.
I'm gonna just have to assume you just made it up, friend. I don't know why you gotta make stuff up, but you know, you're using your imagination. I guess I can't be mad about that.
Yeah, I guess I did, huh?
Boy,
what the fuck?
What do you think a Chambly Mound smells like? Would you smell it long before you saw it coming? Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. It smells like a compost heap. Because it's basically what it is. I hear that dog that you were talking about.
Yeah, the motherfucker. Why doesn't... Oh, my God. These people are the worst. Give me something.
What
Hey, dog!
Are you yelling through your house?
Yeah.
To the neighbors? Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking, buddy. No judgments here.
I don't know. What the F? What a bad boy.
What a bad boy.
I don't know. I have to...
Who's staying?
Shart.
Yeah, I definitely think Chambly Mound smells like compost heap.
I just typed in the worst search thing forever.
What is it, Matthew?
Tanith
Lee story where hands kill people.
That's basically what I wrote in.
Whatever gets results.
It's not really Tanith Lee short story. Hands that kill. Kill the... What the fuck, dude? I'm not spending an awful lot of time on air looking at this, but god damn.
You definitely are. Concerned niblets. Bondurant.
Several hundred short stories? Why, woman?
She's a prolific author.
Oh my god, you're the worst.
Man, you haven't even read fucking any of her Flat Earth series, have you? Like Knight's Master? Oh shit, dude, it's so good. Hella good.
Hella good.
Ella, eh.
I think... I thought it was a Weird Tales anthology. Am I tripping?
I don't know, friend. Maybe.
I might be tripping, dog.
What other short stories do you like? Or horror? What's your favorite horror novel, Sean? Tell us about it. What's your favorite horror novel? You know what? Since I asked the question, I should also be willing to answer it now. I'm going to have to think about that myself. Shucks howdy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about it.
Don't want to think about it.
I say, why not?
I knew you were going to say that.
Bloody back, black, pack, back. I really like shit. Now I just forgot. Oh, really like Hellbound Heart.
Yeah.
Barker. That might be my favorite piece of horror literature of all time.
It's so good. I just listened to the audiobook of that just last week. Sean said City Infernal by Ed Lee. I've never heard of that.
Neither have I.
I'll have to look into it. A young woman had to go through actual hell on an adventure. Sounds cool. Actual factual hell. That sounds neat. Oh god, I just burped. I'm so sorry.
Don't want to tangle with you. I'd rather tangle with him. I think I'm gonna bash his head in.
Rude. I still haven't said what my favorite horror novel is. Shoot.
What is your favorite horror novel, you fuck?
I'm thinking. I have to think about it. I asked a question I was not prepared to answer myself.
The
about right.
short stories in Wide Carnivorous Sky are probably among my favorite short stories for horror. That guy's a really good author.
He is. He is a very good author. Those are good. Boy, Laird Barron is real good too. Have you read any of his stuff?
Laird Barron. I don't know.
He's real good, man. He does a lot of Lovecraftian shit, and he's excellent. Excellent stuff. My favorite thing when watching Thought Slime is when he's watching some like Chud talk about something and make some dumb joke, and he'll go, "Funny stuff."
Yeah, he's funny little feller.
I know he is. He's delightful. Laird Barron Lovecraft Easy loves him. Hell yes. Hell yes. Oh, yeah, Sean, man. You're a part of Lovecraft Easy, aren't you? Like you hang out there, right? Man. Do you watch their live stream, Sean?
I haven't watched their live stream in fucking forever because I'm a terrible person.
Not too long ago.
I've been fucking with those guys for like 9 years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you introduced me to them. I love those guys. Not too long ago, they had Trevor Henderson on, creator of Siren Head.
Wow.
Yeah, dog.
Nice.
Tim Curran is another favorite author, Dead Sea, etc. Man, Sean, I haven't heard of any of these. Sean is.
Why do you got to be weird, Sean?
No, he's throwing out good recommendations. I love to find.
Why don't you just say Stephen King? That's easier for everybody.
Like, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I like Stephen King.
I do too.
I resisted Stephen King for a long time because, like, everybody loves Stephen King, and I'm like, ugh. I have like this emo goth girl attitude about popular shit, where I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch. I'm not reading that. It's popular, so it must suck.
The only reason why I got into Stephen King is because he was forbidden in Community, and
what are you referring to, Sean? Can't make it through them. Can't make it through what? Oh, the Lovecraft Easing. Sean, if you don't like their audio, how in God's name do you stand us?
Yeah, for real.
How do you tolerate us? Because we are terrible. Oh, maybe this is.
That's true.
Maybe this is why Sean.
Oh, I think we caught him in. I think we caught him in a half truth. Why is my email going bananas right now? What the fuck?
Are you getting hacked?
No one wants to talk to me. No, Reddit and Quora Digest, because I like to look at nerd things all the time.
I can't. I find it very difficult to believe. Not that I'm saying you're lying, Sean, but it's just shocking to me.
Our audio is clean. Okay.
And there's.
You know what? You've had too much maple syrup, and you're getting unreasonable.
Your Bailey's is going to your head, there, fella.
Bailey's is good, though, huh?
I don't know. I haven't had it.
It's good.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Especially in like if you put it in like coffee or some shit. Real good.
That's what Sean was doing. The easing cuts out and is so poor. I see. Well, that sucks. But I guess I don't mind it. I have a high tolerance for low production values, just in general. Because like, if it's engaging, then I can overlook bad production value and shit. But I feel you. It is. I can definitely see why it would be hard.
Ugh.
I don't like any of these details I'm adding to this. I'm gonna take some of those out.
Well, then quit.
I am. God. Jesus.
Jesus God.
Jesus God. I wish Maddie was here so I could tell their naked rabbit story. Do you remember that?
No.
That's a fun Halloweeny story. Should I tell it anyway?
It's not my story, man. I can't tell you that.
It's not my story either, but it sure is funny. You know what? I won't. I don't know if they would appreciate that or not, so I won't tell it. But maybe we can get them on here sometime to tell it themselves. That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
We should have Maddie come on.
We should.
I'll hit them up.
I don't know why we haven't. I haven't even thought about that. I know that they're really busy doing like the whole Twitch thing, so I feel like I don't want to like fucking harsh their role or whatever the kids say now times.
That motherfucker specifically said that they don't stream Mondays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Sean. I wish they would.
I think Trey's microphone sounds good since he's the host of the thing, and I'm just cued in. I have a decent microphone. It's not like the end of the world, but it's just like a little portable shotgun.
Well, mine was considerably worse, and then I got this headset.
But I don't know why they can't get a good microphone. They're getting a decent microphone. It's not hard. They're not that expensive.
See
a very white loaf. I don't know why. I can't get enough of your love,
baby.
Dude, Barry White, huh?
Oh my God, yeah.
And fucking yeah. Like I think of Barry White's name and my clothes just start coming off.
Oh yeah, dude. My panties hit the floor at the speed of
ridiculous.
Sound. Kabam! My panties are just crashing through the floor down into the
moisture.
Downstairs neighbor's
Moist.
toilet.
I'm moist for Barry.
And I'm like, ooh, come get my boy pussy, Barry. Good grief.
For sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Well, I wish I knew what happened to the rest of my stupid the Jesus
language.
The
Is
blending
that the word
tool.
You're looking for?
God, I was trying to say blending tool. That was hard. Well, that was
because it's like the whole asshole of your ability to speak fell out.
Just fell out. Yeah, that was rough.
Boing.
Damn. Splop.
My poop is coming.
Well, we are at 9 o'clock, Fran. Do you want to go a little bit longer, or you want to wrap it up?
I don't give a shit.
Well, that's nice and non-committal.
Yeah. Yep.
Correct.
Where are you at, man? Like, I was like after reading, like I was in like this weird brain state where everything was fuzzy. I felt high, honestly.
I know what you mean. That happens to me too. Like you had your brain, you got to switch to like a different mode.
Yeah, I was real fuzzy. I wasn't like so high I could feel my individual teeth in my jaw, but I mean, I kind of felt high. That's a real thing that happens to me, by the way.
Yeah, man.
When in the times in my past when I was involved in that lifestyle that I'm not involved in now.
Officer.
CIA people.
Officer. Yes. Yes, Matthew and I both love the law, and we would never break it.
That's true.
That's true.
If I could get the law into a wedding gown, I'd marry that bitch right now.
Oh,
that's how much I love it.
What if the law had a tuxedo?
Well, I'd marry it, and then I'd be the bitch happily. It's the law.
Yes, I never did answer what my favorite horror novel is because I don't know.
Yeah. Stop dodging, man.
I don't know. Dodgy. I can't think of anything. I'm like, oh yeah, I love horror. What do you like? Cha, ha, ha, yep.
The scary, that one scary book.
Yeah. Spooks and frights galore. Yep, that's my favorite. God, dude, I don't know. I think I can answer short stories better than. I really like Color Out of Space. For like Lovecraft shit. Definitely like the Rats in the Walls. Recent horror novel in the last 5 years, like that I've read or that's been published in the last 5 years. I would say Revival by Stephen King was real good. Yeah, I realized we're back on Stephen King. God, dude, I can't even think. I would have to like go through and think of all the shit that I've read. I don't know, man. You know what? I'm gonna crack open my Audible and I'm gonna look through that to see what I've been listening to because it counts. I don't care. I don't care what you say. It counts. If you listen to a book, you're still ingesting the information. I think, anyway. Let us see here. Ooh, I read a whole bunch of books of blood by Clive Barker.
Those are good.
They're so good. Rawhead Rex is a real good one. Cabal is good. That's also Clive Barker. I don't know. I think it counts as horror, but it's also science fiction. But Harlan Ellison's "I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream" is fucking rad as shit. It's such a good short story. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a siren going.
Not here.
In my place. Over at my place, there's a siren.
My place to come on?
Yep. Come on to my house on my house. Ooh. But yeah. What's your favorite kind of horror? That's a good one.
Cosmic horror, I think, probably.
Yeah, I like cosmic horror quite a bit. Yeah, Weaveworld is also good, Sean. Weaveworld's awesome.
That was the first Clive Barker novel I ever read, and I really, really liked it.
Bro, I remember you reading that on a farm.
Yeah, I got it from the Leon Public Library.
Hell yeah. I remember you telling me about, I don't remember the character's name, but he was like a salesman. And he had like this jacket with like this sparkly hypnotic interior. You remember that?
Yeah, his name. What was his name? It was something really just like almost comic.
Yeah.
I don't remember the main protagonist's name, but it was a very good story.
Yeah, it is good. Clive Barker's just a wonderful author.
Yeah, like the way that he interacts with language, like that really, really fired me up.
And also, he comes from a place much more visually imaginative than like Stephen King.
Right.
That might be because he's also like a visual artist. I don't know, but just the way that he has a whole aesthetic to like the monsters and shit that appear in his stories, and it's just wonderful.
Well, I mean, Stephen King is very good at writing characters.
Yes,
I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel like Clive Barker is a better author because he creates a world and just makes it very, very vivid in the reader's imagination. At least for me, that's how I feel. I like Stephen King's stuff. His characters are excellent, and I think that's the strength of his writing. Barker's just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, for sure. And they're very different, you know. They come from very different places. Like Stephen King comes from a real folksy place.
Yeah.
And Barker is more like a city boy, you know.
Right.
He
Stephen King to me feels like he comes from, at least to me, a real accessible almost a blue collar sort of
Yes.
feel to his writing, and I like. For me, Stephen King is fun. I don't read him for the horror element. I read him for the entertainment value. I read Clive Barker to see what fucked up thing he's doing to somebody.
Yes, and it's always fucking imaginative. Like in fucking Weaveworld. Weaveworld's not even like a horror story per se, but he has like those he has like horrific elements in it. Like there's those like undead witches who use like their own undead aborted fetuses and they like mutate them into soldiers and monsters. You remember that?
Yeah.
So fucking cool. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, no, he's got his imagination, I think, is more engaged.
Yeah.
Than Stephen King.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like King's prose. This is Sean. I hate his jive talk and slang drives me nuts when he tries to write accents. Yes, that's true. Especially in his older stuff.
He's not super good at accents. The one thing I do like about King is that, like, every once in a while he'll go off on like this almost stream of thought sort of writing, especially in his dialogue. That was real prevalent with in It, the girls, what's the girl's name?
Beverly,
with Beverly's father. Like, he starts yelling shit and it's just real. It's everything's in caps and there's no punctuation. And sometimes when he writes like that, that's like my favorite.
Yeah. It's very visceral. Yeah, so I think next week will be a bullshit week. Yeah, Beverly Marsh. Right. And her creepy ass dad.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry a lot. Fuck you, Beverly's dad.
Bigly.
I wish the second It movie hadn't been not very good.
Yeah, me too.
I wish it had been better. That first one set it up so well. And it wasn't, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to watch it again. I think I'm going to watch it again, like maybe tomorrow.
It wasn't like terrible. I didn't think, but it just, like, it felt way less cool than the first one did. The first one was friggin' really good, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I feel like a big part of the problem was there's a lot of like forced comedic elements to it. And like some levity is excellent. But like they had too much, you know?
Well,
like,
yeah. And I think that they weren't hitting the marks. Because there's a lot of humor that King wrote into his thing, and it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was cool with the kids because the kids are just being kids and just doing shitty kid things. But with the adults, it did feel real clunky. Yeah, his phone. I love Tommy Knockers. I really love Tommy Knockers.
You know what? I did too. It definitely is not without its faults. But like I enjoyed Tommy Knockers quite a bit. That was actually the first Stephen King novel that I read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like one of the novels that people dislike the most.
That puzzles me why people don't like it. I don't know what I'm missing. If I just have poor taste, probably.
I think it's maybe because it's probably like at the height of his going off on big old tangents about shit that doesn't have anything to do with the plot. Like he talks about the whole history of that revival preacher and shit, and it just doesn't have anything to do with the plot.
But it's still cool to me, at least to me. I mean,
I enjoyed it a lot.
I guess I'm a nerd about shit like that. But the first Stephen King novel I read was Insomnia, and I want to read it again.
Really? I didn't even. That's like one of those lesser known ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't. I've heard of it, but I've definitely never read it. I started with his short stories, and I feel like that's definitely like the place to start. because his short stories are so
Yeah.
good. I
4
really,
Seasons, I think, was the first short story anthology of his that I read. Which has the short story in it that Shawshank Redemption was based off of.
yeah. Isn't it Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
The first one,
As a pinup girl.
yes. The first one, I believe I started with Night Shift. Whatever his first one was, that's the one I started with. And that's got a lot.
Night Shift or Skeleton Crew, one of those was his first, I think.
Yeah. Whichever one was first is the one I started with, and then I moved on to Skeleton Crew. And you know what? I might get the audible version of those, so I can listen to that at work. Because you get like a discount if you already own Audible. That's what I said, isn't it? Oh boy, I want to get that Audible. I believe you get a discount if you already own the Kindle version. Yeah, Tommy Knockers is Stephen King's Color Out of Space. Like his version of Color Out of Space is a lot like that. I think he said that.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
He just straight up said that's what he was going for. Color Out of Space.
The Bachman books. Man, I feel like I read one of those and liked it, but never moved on and never got back to it. I read The Stand as well. It was pretty good, but it's been a long time since I've read that.
It's so long.
I think I read Insomnia, It, and The Stand, I think is the reading order. Why? This is what fucking blows my mind, dude. Like, I can remember that shit, but if you ask me, like, oh, hey, what was a specific bad memory you have of the cult, when you were like a kid from that era? Can't tell you one thing. Not one thing.
Yeah, that's called trauma.
I can say, oh, I was hungry and cold, but I can't tell. I mean, I can, like, in my mind, I can tell you where I was, what I was going through when I was reading it mentally. I was super engaged and everything that was happening in my brain when I was reading these books, because it was, shocking. I'd never read anything like this in my life, but I couldn't tell you the shitty conversations that very definitely impacted my life at least as much from the same era.
Yeah, that's the trauma.
Fucking man, so frustrating.
Yeah, for sure.
And terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like having a conversation with somebody that won't talk to you, and that person is also you. That's what it's like.
Yeah, God, that's a good way of putting that.
Not fun.
Yeah, man, it ain't easy. Joe Hill, any good? I watched that Netflix show and hated it. The comics that it's based on, Lock and Key, are awesome. I highly recommend you check out those comics if you haven't already, Sean. They're quite good. Quite good.
Isn't that like the YA thing where they like find the keys and it gives them the abilities and shit?
I definitely would not call that young adult. It's got a lot of heavy shit. It's real violent and stuff. I don't think it's meant to be young adult.
Is it like teenagers and shit?
Well, it's got teenagers in it.
Am I tripping?
It's got teenagers in it, and it's got some whimsical, qualities to it. But it's real. Like, dudes get chopped up and shit in it. It's real violent.
Huh.
I have not, but I hated the show, so kind of not keen on checking them out now. Well, I have started watching the show too, Sean, and I will say that they're quite different in tone. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, I'm thinking of that. Yeah, I thought it was fucking young adult shit. Oops.
Well, he drops.
I'm a terrible person.
F-bombs and what have you. So you don't typically find those. Can we get Matt to read an issue of Lock and Key? I mean, I don't know how that would work, buddy. I mean, I guess, because I would either have to have it on screen while he does that, or he would have to go, and then in this panel, is happening. You know what's really weird? Is that there are graphic novels on Audible. And it's like, is it just like a radio play? Like I know the the Sandman is like an audio drama, but it's like other than that, like if it's not an audio drama, how do you have an audio book of a graphic novel? Because it's mostly pictures.
It's very weird.
Very weird to me. It's mostly pictures, guys. I don't get it. Oh, this guy is chunky. He's like salsa, chunky salsa, walking around. He's real gross.
I don't think it would work very well without panels shown. And the lag is probably too much to effectively do it unless I were to read it as it popped up and we were to time about how long it would take me with the pages. That would be very strange, but probably not. Yeah, no, that would be, I don't even know how that would work. I am very descriptive, but I'm not going to explain every panel. Man, come on. What do you think I am?
What do you take me for, Sarah? Boy, this shambling mound is taking a while, huh?
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Unlike my pee, because I drank like 3 bottles of water.
Do you have to go pee again?
Yes.
Well,
again? But you just
went.
I acknowledge that. Please tell that to my bladder. Maybe it'll change its mind.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
100%.
Do you want to quit that, or do you want to go pee real quick and then wrap it up?
You know what? What time is it? Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up, dog. It's 20 after.
All righty. Well, we're going to call it quits for the evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming by and celebrating the spooky ooky season with us. Sean says he's looking good. Thank you. He called him Shamby. Shamby the Shambling Mound. Hi, Shamby. Oh, Shamby, you always know what to say. What are some good Shambling Mound books? Well, there's a short story by Theodore Sturgeon just called It. Highly recommend that one. It's literally got a shambling mound in it. It's like not the D&D monster because it was before D&D. It's like from the 50s, but it's about a corpse that gets reanimated.
Huge fart.
It's got like reanimated by like, and it's got like vegetation and shit surrounding it. So it's like this big walking compost heap with a corpse inside of it. Theodore Sturgeon's a cool author, y'all. Y'all need to check out Theodore Sturgeon. He's great.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, folks. Well, happy Halloween. Thank you for coming by as we celebrate Samhain, the Halloween season. It's my favorite time of the year. And next time, we're just going to have a regular stream. And after that, we might do another short story. And then, or Land of the Lost, we'll determine that as we go. But anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. It's good seeing y'all. And we will see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.